We're going to look at day 8 homework, so answer the questions through the Edpuzzle. All right, it says, given below is the graph of function f of x and a table of values of a discrete function g of x and an equation h of x. So in questions 1 through 4, there are two quantities that we have to consider, quantity A and B. We're going to find the values of both quantities, and then after comparing them, we're either going to write less than, greater than, or equal to in the box between the described quantities. If no comparison can be made, then simply write NC for no comparison in the box. So let's take a look at the first one here. So if I take a look at 2 of f of 4 plus 3 of h of 5, I am going to get 11. Remember that f of 4 is 2. That's from the graph. H is going to be from the equation. So if I were to plug in 5, I get 5 plus 4 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then I simply do the calculation right there. All right. And there's the work for h of 5. Now I'm going to compare g of negative 4. So g of negative 4 is negative 5. And then I'm supposed to take that negative 5 and plug it into the f function. The problem is when I have x is negative 5, I end up getting an undefined value. So there's no comparison that can be made between 11 and undefined. Okay? So now let's take a look at two and so on here. Let's do this. I don't want to show the answers so quick. You guys are so quick. All right. So on number 2, we want to be able to find h of 5. So again, we're going to plug in, we already found h of 5. We found h of 5 to be 5, right? So we've already done that calculation. And so now we're supposed to subtract 2 times g of 6. G of 6 is negative 2. And so I've got 9 as my total right there. So minus 2 times negative 2, and that's going to give me this. So on this one, on g of 4, so when x is 4, we get 5, and then h of 5, we already found out is 5, plus 2 times f of negative 2. So when x is negative 2 in the f function, we have a 2. And so we've got 5 from this piece plus 2 times 2, which gives me 9. 9 equals 9. All right, so now let's go and take a look at number 3. When we have h of 0, 0 plus 4 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. That means I have g of 4. G of 4 is 5. And then f of 5 is undefined. Then we have g of negative 1. So when x is negative 1, I get 0. So g of negative 1 is 0. And then take the 0 and plug it into the h. And then we end up getting 4. And of course, we cannot compare because 1 is undefined and 1 is 4. So now let's take a look at number 4. The number of x values for which the h function equals the f function. So if I were to take a look on the h function, in order for them to equal, then that means that I am going to probably need to graph. So if I take a look, this is a radical that has been shifted to the left 4 and up 2. So left 4 and up 2. And then it's doing this sort of thing, okay? So just by looking at this, there are no intersecting points. So h of x and f of x have 0 x values where their graphs intersect. And then now we're going to compare that to the number of x values for which p of x is equal to, and then we have to figure out this value, and here is p of x. So we need to figure out what h of 12 is. So we're going to take our p of x, negative 2, x plus 3 is equal to, now h of 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. G of 6. So again, G of 6 is going to be, G of 6 going to be negative 2. So we are setting this p function equal to negative 2. Now we're going to divide by negative 2. We get 1. You break it up into 2 equations, and not that I want the value of negative 2 or negative 4, I want the number of x values. So there are 2 answers. So there are 0 answers and 2 answers, so 0 is less than those. All right, so now let's take a look at questions 5 through 10. So on these functions, it says use the functions below to find an equation for the indicated composite functions. So we're given equations. So here's your f, your g, and your h. So 2x times h of x. H of x is very simply 2x minus 1 minus the f of x function. And then from here, you are just going to do your algebra. Okay. When you do that, you simplify to 3x squared plus x minus 2. Now let's take a look at 6. We are adding the g and the h. This is the g and this is the h. In order to add fractions, you need common denominators. So I'm just making my common denominator x minus 2, and I multiply top and bottom by x minus 2. So when I simplify the algebra for that component, I get 2x plus 3 plus, again, I am distributing everything and combining as I go. And then this would be your final answer. Okay, number 7. It says take the h function and plug it into the g. So this is the g function. 2, everywhere where there's an x, I put in parentheses. So 2x plus 3 and then x minus 2, and then I'm plugging in the h function into those spots. Then I just distribute, I get 4x minus 2 plus 3, and then I just simplify from there, and I get 4x plus 1 over 2x minus 3. H function into the f. So remember that everywhere where there is an x, put parentheses and then go back and fill in the h function. Perform your algebra, multiply, and simplify. Okay, so now we have number 9. We are asked just to multiply. So this is like saying take f of x and multiply it by h of x. So that's just simply f of x times h of x, and you're just distributing, multiplying, and then combining like terms. All right, so remember this type of example from your notes. It says in the f function, you are going to replace all of the x's with x plus h, and then you are going to subtract f of x. And that can be kind of long. So do that first and then come back and we'll divide by h. So again, the f function is x squared minus 3x plus 2 minus your f function. So your f function is here, and this is your f of x plus h that goes here. We need to simplify all of the algebra, which means if you square this, multiply this out, distribute the negative, then you will find that you have this. You're going to cancel wherever there are like terms. Remember though, it's all over h, then you're going to factor out an h on the top, and then you are going to cancel, and this is what you are left with.